Hello, and welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for February of 2023. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
And I'm Julia Mijas, and I'm in San Francisco, California.
Let's take a look at what's happening for you in February. Virgo, I want to start with two of our favorite asteroid goddesses, Juno and Ceres. Juno is here in your 8th house, but I really want to talk about Ceres first because she's doing some really important stuff this month. Ceres is about to go retrograde and she rules important things in your life. Ceres is the Earth Mother, and she is all about the ways we connect with the physical world by being in our bodies, by what we eat and how we take care of our physical selves, how we maintain our security, and also our finances. Ceres is traveling along through your 2nd house, which is great news because she loves being here. It doubles up on and strengthens her themes of security, safety, finances, and good stewardship. So she's all about creating that good stuff for you this month. But unfortunately, she is going to go retrograde on February 3rd. And there you see the little red RX symbol appears, showing that she's going to go retrograde, and she's going to be retrograde for several months until early May. Now, when Ceres is in Libra, it becomes all about finding your way to a balance and utilizing fine design principles. And in particular, when Ceres goes retrograde in Libra, it's going to be a financial rebalancing period. It's going to be about looking into your finances and also looking into how you are in your body and how you're eating for your body and your health. And going backwards, going inwards, looking retrospectively at how this has been going and how it's working out for you and how you could do it better and bring it into a better design, a better state of balance and harmony and symmetry. Ceres does love being in this house and really wants to do great stuff for you. She's going to be retrograde for a long time, several months. So there's really going to be plenty of time to figure out, what are all the gifts that she has to bring to you here. Juno is traveling through Aries all month. She usually spends about 2 months traveling through any particular sign. She's in your 8th house, which is interesting. I think Juno's fairly comfortable here. This is the realm of intimacy and sharing. That can be financial sharing, it can be emotional sharing, it can even be sexual sharing. And those are all things that Juno is comfortable with because she is the goddess of marriage, of commitment, of partnership, committed partnership in all its forms. So when Juno moves through this house, she might affect the house or the house might affect her. When I say the house might affect her, if you are in a committed relationship, it might go through something of a transformation. There might be some peeling away of layers. There might be some loss or even a quality of death that goes on. But just for this month or two, doesn't necessarily have to be like really massive or really radical, but it could be some kind of a change. And if you're on top of it, you can have it turn out to better your marriage instead of worsen it. Juno's effect on the 8th house can also bring a sense of partnership into the spaces that you share with partners that you already have. In other words, you might be bringing better skills to the negotiating table when you sit down with your business partner to talk about taxes. That's just one example of how it could go. Juno's going to continue in Aries all month. It'll change signs in mid-March. And hey, Julia, what's up with Venus, Mercury, and Mars for the Virgos of the world?
Well, some pretty good stuff, especially with Venus, Virgo. Venus rules your relationships, and wherever she is in your chart is where you're going to experience some pleasure that month. So Venus starts the month in your 7th house, which is a house she totally loves to be in. It's one of her favorites. And the 7th house rules your romantic relationship. So if you're currently in a relationship, you will just be having a more harmonious, pleasing time with your partner. They'll probably be looking extra hot to you with Venus in the 7th. 7th. And it's also a good time in your relationship with a business partner or any other partners that you have in your life. And if you're single, then this can be a great transit for getting out there and dating and meeting some new people. Then by February 19th or 20th, depending on where you are in the world, what time zone you're in, Venus pops into your 8th house for the rest of the month. Now, the 8th house is a lot more intense place than the 7th. It can still have a lot to do with romantic relationships, especially deep intimacy, as well as, quote, other people's money. And other people's money means the money you share with the people close to you, or the money you share with institutions like banks or stocks or crypto. So with Venus in this house for the rest of the month, it can actually be a time where you get a little bit of money luck. Maybe some investments are doing well. Maybe your partner gets a raise and shares it with you. And it can be a time of really bonding deeply and intimately with your partner. And, it can be also quite a sexually experimental transit as well, in an 8th house kind of way, which usually is a little intense and kinky. And then finally, not finally, but I'll mention Mercury next. Mercury is the planet that rules your mind. Wherever we have Mercury is where we expend a lot of our mental energy that month, where we do a lot of thinking. And Mercury starts the month in your 5th house. So 5th house being the house of children, the house of dating, the house of creativity and games. So yeah, if you are single, your mind might be on dating a lot now, especially with Venus in your 7th at the same time. If you have children, then this can be a time of talking to them a lot more, communicating more freely with them, maybe more text or phone calls. And Mercury in the 5th kind of just wants to be preoccupied with games and fun activities. Mercury loves to play games, but that's all well and good, except if you have a lot of serious things to focus on, it can be a little bit distracting. Then by February 11th, Mercury enters your 6th house, where he's going to be for the rest of the month. The 6th house and Mercury get along really, really well. And the 6th house rules work, service, organization. It also rules health. It also rules your routines. So your mind might be a lot more organized during this transit. It's a great time for, I guess, a little bit of early spring cleaning. You might also be communicating or thinking a lot more about your workplace, communicating with coworkers, bosses, clients, people like that. And it's also a good time to just kind of put your mind to health. Think of some new routines that might actually sort of aid you in getting healthier for this year as well. Then finally, I'll mention a few things about Mars. That's the planet of action and activity. And wherever we have Mars is where we expend a lot of our energy that month, but also where we can run into conflicts and frustrations as well. So Mars is in your 10th house all month. And this should feel pretty familiar to you because Mars has been in your 10th house for a very long time for Mars, that like a few months now, starting late fall, early winter. He did a whole retrograde cycle in this house, which just finished up last month, and he's going to stay in this house for the rest of February, and then in March he's going to shift finally. But while he's been retrograde, while he's been here for a few months now, you may have been very energized in your career, wanting to kind of get ahead. Mars in the 10th house usually likes to do a lot of work on his own. Mars isn't the best team player in the zodiac, and if you're looking for a career, you may have felt very motivated to just kind of get out there and find the next job. Now, that's all well and good, but while Mars was retrograde, you may have run into more frustrations and flare-ups in this department. This can include getting into fights with authority figures, not seeing eye to eye with your boss. Authority figures can also be your parents or your teachers if you're still in school. And, there may have also been other types of frustrations at the workplace that may have had you redo a lot of things, redo projects, but now that Mars is direct this month, it shouldn't be quite as frustrating, and you can get lots and lots of work done, which is a totally good focus. And then next month, you'll have a nice break from Mars in the 10th, which will be kind of nice.
A couple of moons that I want to tell you about and a seasonal change. The first one is the full moon in Leo, which lands in your 12th house. Now, full moons are times when emotion can run high, and sometimes they bring us face to face with another person Sometimes we are the one who is feeling the moon and the other person is there to mirror us. And other times we are facing somebody who is having the big feelings of the moon. This particular moon is in Leo, and we're calling it you in the mirror of community. The moon in Leo is the you part, and the mirror of community is the sun in Aquarius, which balances that moon with a good deal of Aquarian detachment, objectivity, distance, space. Now, because this moon lands in your 12th house, you might feel like you want to pull away into an introverted space. You might crave some solitude. You might even think that you don't know how you feel until you can be alone, away from other people, and then you can just feel what you're feeling very thoroughly and get a handle on what it actually is. You might find that people at work will be playing the role of the sun here and looking at you with a little bit more of a distant eye, taking an observer's role. And some of those people might make you feel, a little, shall we say, like alienated from your own feelings, but others of them will probably be a really good mirror for you to see yourself in more clearly. This particular moon involves a square to Uranus, which could bring a whole other level of disruption and intensify the situation. But this moon does also actually contain a lot of harmony. There's harmony in the form of trine and sextile to Mars, and then also trine and sextile over here to Juno and Chiron. And if you want to know more about this moon and how it might affect you, you can find that on our monthly forecast page at our website, pandoraastrology.com, where we've put the video about this moon. Now, the next thing that happens is that the sun is going to travel along through Aquarius until it finishes it out and moves on into Pisces. The sun generally spends about 30 days per sign. And for that 30-day period, it's a really good idea to bring the sunlight of your high quality attention or the light of consciousness to whatever area the sun is passing through. So the sun enters the 7th house for you on or around February 19th, and will be there for about 30 days. And this is the domain of relationship, as Julia was saying, of partnership. And that can be anybody who feels like, your other half in a particular domain. Like it can be a spouse, it can be a boyfriend or girlfriend, it can be a bestie, it can be a business partner, it can be, a teammate of some kind. And when the sun is passing through this house, it's a really good time to put attention on your partner and your relationship. And because the sun is passing through Pisces, it's a really good idea to shine the light of loving compassion on your partner. And it's quite possible, Virgo, that you may identify with Virgo and bring, a critical eye to your life and yourself, and you might rely on your partner to bring compassion to you. But what I'm saying to you here is, if you bring compassion to the relationship, instead of expecting to find it there, you may find that the relationship is really going to thrive and flourish this month. So very shortly after the sun arrives here in Pisces, the moon joins it, and then Saturn is there too. So this is an interesting combination of factors here, this new moon in Pisces that is happening actually on the 19th or possibly the 20th, depending on your time zone. A new moon is all about new beginnings, fresh starts, planting of seeds. Seeds are planted in the darkness. We don't see their results right away. They have to have time to germinate and spring forth. And this moon in particular is very much an introverted moon. It's very much about pulling inward into dreams and imagination, fantasy, and seeing what dreams that you could give birth to and plant, and what will they grow into. We're calling this one Birth Dreams Grounded in Logic. And the grounded in logic part is Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn is very much about bringing a grounded approach, building something real and tangible and actual over time. It's in Aquarius, which is very rational, very logical, and also appreciates ideas that are very structured, sometimes verging even into the rigid. So during this moon, because of the proximity of Saturn, the very best dreams will be the ones that are grounded in the rational and that could turn into something real someday. This moon lands in your 7th house. Again, the domain of partnership. So this is a really good time to plant the seeds of compassion, imagination, dream, fantasy, spirituality in your relationship so that they can grow up into something truly beautiful, truly gossamer, truly sublime, shall we say.
If you love Pandora Astrology's free and informative horoscopes, please do hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share our horoscopes with your friends.
Horoscopes are fun, but they're also really general. If you want to explore this month's themes more personally, we'd love to meet with you in a real live reading where you can gain powerful insights and learn what you need to make the big decisions in your career, family, or relationship. You'll find the link in the description below. Have a fantastic February, and until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos.
Bye-bye.